Here's a updated video on the 330 GTC progress pictures. This is the original ID plate that is for the 330 GTC serial number 10467. And where appropriate, I also photographed the backside of certain components that had a special finish, such as this ID plate. Other examples would be a relevant part number or date build code, and just to again prove just originality and correctness. The 250 GT does not have its original ID plate, so this is a reproduction, and so the numbers and other relevant information would have to be stamped into this plate. But most importantly, reproduction plates always have this type of anodized finish. This is an example of a date build code on the back of the 330 GTC dashboard. On the right it says 5-67, which means this dashboard was made in May of 1967. Here's the front side of the same dashboard, and I did a light cleaning and polishing to the gauges, especially the chrome and the glass, and then I just decided this presents itself better with the gauges and a couple of the switches installed. Here's the backside, and you can see the 3 center gauges still have all of their originality, and for some reason the 2 outer gauges were painted that looks like a dull gray color, and they were full of masking tape and smudges and just general handling marks. So I tidied all that up, and just to give it a little bit better look. These are the vent windows and the vent window frames. Here's some of the original rubber that'll be used as patterns. These are the coat hooks for the 330 GTC, and they were chromed probably in the mid to late 80s, and the chrome is still in remarkably good condition, and the 2 smaller pieces with the 4 holes are screwed to the car body, and then the teardrop coat hooks actually fit over those pieces with the 4 holes. Sadly, many of the special screws and fasteners for the 330 are missing, and for example, there should be 4 little sheet metal screws that are in those holes, and so they're gone. But a lot of this hardware can be sourced, and but there's some specialty hardware that's going to be very difficult to find. Front side of the prancing horse that goes on the front grille of the 330, and again I also captured the rear side. Here's an example of some missing parts. This is the trunk latch, and that mounts inside the car, and the lock is missing, and as well as the mounting fasteners, and there should be a pin that holds these 2 components together, which is also missing. The 330 GTC does not have a rear seat, and in its place is an area for luggage, and the luggage is retained by 2 leather straps, and these are the components that retain the leather straps to the car body. These are the courtesy lights, and the 2 center components are the actual lenses, which are in excellent condition, as are the 2 chrome bezels, and but again the mounting hardware is gone, but it shouldn't be too difficult to source. This is the backup lights, and the hardware again is missing, as are the electrical connections, and but the main components are there, especially the lenses, and again they're in excellent condition, and the 2 large components that are chrome plated are in again excellent condition. This is the hood latch and its retainer, rear mounted reflectors and their bezels, interior door handles. On the right side of the car, there's this passenger assist strap, and again, the chrome, even though it was done, looks like in the 80s, as near as I can tell, is in excellent condition. And the actual handle, which is the ivory colored piece, is soiled, but it's not cracked or otherwise damaged and should clean up nicely. These retain the sun visors, part of the door hardware. These are dovetail guides which mount on the car doors and provide assistance for aligning the door to the actual car body. This is the latching assembly that mounts on the car body, and these are part of the locking mechanism. But thankfully the little springs and pins are present, and there should be 4 special screws that hold these plates to the car body that so far haven't been able to find. Extra pair of side marker lights. Beautiful set of exterior door handles. They're complete, and again, just in excellent condition. A fairly rare front license plate bracket. Rear bumper guards. Some of the wiring for the dash. Some interior vents. This would be for the heating and ventilation system. Adjacent to the accelerator pedal is this scuff plate, and mounts over the carpet, and it's just there to prevent any damage to the carpet from pressing down on the accelerator pedal. Rear view mirror, and the opposite side of the same rear view mirror. This is a little vinyl closure panel that mounts underneath the left side dash, and that vertical slit is actually a cut in the vinyl, and the choke mechanism actually passes through that little slit. These are the original fans and motors for the cooling system. The 330 GTC does have factory air conditioning, so this is the one of the blower motors and squirrel cages for the air conditioning system, along with the ductwork. This is also part of the air conditioning system, and this is on the lower end of the picture is the evaporator core, and then the larger component is the housing that holds the evaporator core. The 330 GTC also has a very good heating system, and so this mounts underneath the front fenders, so I believe this is on the left side, and these components were cleaned probably in the 80s and then just left, and so there's some surface rust, but and some dings and some dents, but all in all they're in very nice condition. And then to the right is the actual heater core itself, and this is the opposite side. These are the right and left taillights, along with their lenses and protective enclosures, and again, all the specialty screws that retain these lenses to the housings are gone, and all the electrical contact along with the wiring is gone. More of the heating and ventilation system. This is the alternator that mounts on the engine, and it's been rebuilt. This is a design detail that mounts on the left front fender, and the part towards the top of this image is should be chrome, and but it's all present, and looks like to be in very restorable condition. The black components are actually vents that serve as a fender vent, so any heat that's generated, and rather than trapping it in the engine compartment, these are exhausted out the sides of the car. The air horns and air compressor, and here's the design detail on the right side of the car. some interior trim, and also when we did the certified appraisals, we captured all the part numbers and serial numbers, which included the Pininfarina job numbers, and which were stamped or etched or marked on the rear side of these parts. So I always want to include the backside, and because these do contain relevant numbers, and just provide overall condition of the part. Some more interior, and the reverse side. The 330 GTC, being 1967, started to use some fiberglass. So this is a little closure panel that covers the trunk lock. And this demonstrates what it's made out of. And this is the fiberglass matting that was used. The GTC also has power windows. So these are the lift motors and cabling system that work in conjunction with the switch to raise and lower the windows. And some more of the power window hardware. This is a strut along with some bushings that retain the rear part of the engine. Some more interior along with its reverse side. A nice set of door sill plates. So when you open up the door and look down, this is the plate that one would see. And there's some also related trim with those other door sill plates. This trim mounts on the top of the door, and again, it's in excellent condition. And other than a light polish, these are very, very usable condition. This is part of the ventilation system for the fuel tank. There's some parts behind there that are missing, but I did want to include these. These are the original sun visors, and they are soiled, and but these are in very nice overall condition. Usually these are split or some way damaged or cut, and but these are in excellent condition. Other than the mirrors a little bit deteriorated, but given the overall condition of these sun visors, these are very serviceable. The parts on the right of somewhat triangular shape should have a stud sticking out and provide a pivot for the sun visors, but those pivots or rods are missing. Here's the opposite side. These are some closure panels that mount inside the doors and are covered by the door panels. Battery hold down with the washer assembly. Front brake calipers and new brake pads. Hard lines for the brake calipers. The rear brake calipers and with new brake pads. The caliper on the right is a new old stock part, and so as one of the originals had a crack inside, is no longer serviceable. Power brake booster with clutch and brake pedal. The GTC does have power brakes, and that's that large cylindrical component on the upper left. Just a little different view, close-up of the pedal assembly. And a detailed picture of the power booster. This is very original, even though it looks deteriorated. Is quite nice to see. Everything other than one broken spring, everything else looks to be in place.